The A70 is good enough to justify its mid-range price tag, and soon you will know why. The Galaxy A70 is actually similar to the Galaxy A50 and follows the same 3D glass-stick design language, where the glass-stick stands for glass-like plastic. With a 6.7-inch Infinity UI screen on the front, the phone is not the most compact option available in the market, but it is still surprisingly manageable. The polycarbonate body with all the curves in the right places makes the phone feel sleek and relatively light in the hands. On the rear, the Galaxy A70 stacks a 32MP with 1.7 aperture primary sensor, 8MP wide-angle shooter and a 5MP depth sensor. As for the selfies, the Galaxy A70 uses the same 32MP sensor on the front as well. There's scene optimizer, live focus portrait mode, flaw detection and many more options on the phone. Samsung has included 240fps slow-mos at 1080p, which should be fun to play around. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 SoC is currently placed into Galaxy A70. Samsung has paired 2GHz octa-core chipset with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There is a dedicated microSD card slot that can hold additional 512GB storage. It can handle demanding games, offers great battery life, has super fast charging and the full version of Samsung Pay that lets you go card free. Oppo Reno smartphone was launched in April 2019. The phone comes with a 6.40-inch touchscreen display and an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. Oppo Reno is powered by a 2.2 GHz octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 710 processor along with 8GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Oppo Reno on the rear packs a 48MP primary camera with an 1.7 aperture and a second 5MP camera. The rear camera setup has autofocus. It sports a 16MP camera on the front for selfies. This phone runs ColorOS 6 based on Android 9.0 Pie and packs 256GB of inbuilt storage. It is powered by a 3765mAh battery and supports 20W of fast battery charging. It was launched in Extreme Night Black, Foxy Green, Mist Powder and Nebula Purple colors. Huawei Nova 5 smartphone was launched on 21st June 2019. The phone comes with a 6.39-inch touchscreen display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels at a pixel density of 403 pixels per inch and an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. Huawei Nova 5 is powered by a 1.88 GHz octa-core high silicon Kirin 810 processor that features 2 cores clocked at 2.27 GHz and 6 cores clocked at 1.88 GHz. It comes with 8GB of RAM. The Huawei Nova 5 runs Android 9 Pie and is powered by 3500mAh battery. The Huawei Nova 5 supports proprietary fast charging. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Huawei Nova 5 on the rear packs a 48MP primary camera with an 1.8 aperture, a second 16MP camera with an 2.2 aperture and a third 2MP camera with an 2.4 aperture, and there is a fourth 2MP camera with an 2.4 aperture. The rear camera setup has laser autofocus. It sports a 32MP camera on the front for selfies with an 2.0 aperture. The Huawei Nova 5 runs EMUI based on Android 9 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage that can be expanded via microSD card up to 256GB. The Huawei Nova 5 is a dual SIM smartphone that accepts nano SIM and micro SIM cards. In today's competitive phone market, the Nova needs to be cheaper, but it's a fine device with no big drawbacks. The Xiaomi Mi 9 is a fantastic all-around device, offering many of the bells and whistles of high-end phones but without the price tag. The Mi 9 looks like a fantastic jack-of-all-trades device. It has a powerful processor, impressive camera setup and supports up to 20W fast charging. And on top of that, it's a whole lot cheaper than the phones with a similar spec. The Xiaomi Mi 9 has a slightly curved glass back, giving it a distinct look and a comfortable feel. The Mi 9 has a 6.39-inch AMOLED display with a 2340 by 1080 Full HD Plus resolution, which delivers vibrant colors with a great brightness range. The Mi 9 is one of the first phones available with Qualcomm's latest top-end Snapdragon 855 processor. The Snapdragon 855 is paired with 6GB RAM and the experience is very smooth and fast. This is Xiaomi's first phone to use a triple lens setup with a 16MP ultra-wide and a 12MP 2x telephoto camera flanking the standard 48MP sensor. The extra resolution is used for pixel binning and greater light sensitivity at 12MP. The main camera takes great shots in most situations, offering an AI mode that will try to boost the scene. Overall, it's an outstanding phone for those who have limited budget.